Now at 6, Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson has mostly kept a low profile in the 3 weeks since she effectively forced out Police Chief Sean Barnes in the wake of the Bite of Seattle mass shooting. But today, she was out in front of the cameras answering questions for the first time about the recall effort against her, which just took an important step forward. Good evening, I'm Preston Phillips.
And I'm Molly Shen. The mayor was also asked about recent polling that shows a majority of people in Seattle support the city's real-time surveillance camera program. We have team coverage tonight, including KOMO's Jackie Kent, with more on those recall charges.
But we begin with KOMO senior reporter Chris Daniels live in Seattle with new reaction to Wilson's public safety agenda. Chris?
Yeah, Preston and Molly, Mayor Wilson made a carefully controlled public appearance today to announce a new housing plan while she simultaneously tries to navigate a delicate legal situation, not only involving herself, but the decision to get rid of the Seattle police chief. All of this seemingly defining her first year in office and overshadowing any other policy discussion.
It was an attempt to conduct city business as usual, with Seattle's mayor facing cameras.
We are establishing a housing production task force.
And headwinds.
How does forming a task force with recommendations that are due in September of 2027 actually build housing right now?
This task force is going to be providing rolling recommendations.
It was the first time Wilson answered questions since she abruptly forced out Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes in the middle of an unsolved murder investigation at the Bite of Seattle and failures to immediately address the public emergency.
I can't believe the mayor's office would have refused to do a public safety briefing.
That former interim Seattle Police Chief Sue Rahr says was bungled.
That was a big communications failure.
It all prompted a new voter poll released this week by the Seattle Metro Chamber and Challenge Seattle, led by former Governor Christine Gregoire, suggesting 2/3 of Seattleites have no confidence in the mayor's public safety plan, and 75% want a closed-circuit TV system to deter crime.
Does all of this now change your perspective on that issue, given those shootings and given the public polling suggesting that people want to have those cameras on?
So we're continuing to follow the course that I laid out earlier this year, which is that as we speak, there is an audit being conducted of privacy, data security, storage sharing practices for our CCTV system. We expect the results of that audit to be coming out, I believe, around the end of September. So that will be a decision point where we can share those results publicly and make a decision about whether to move forward with the expansion of the CCTV cameras.
Despite the polling, there are strong feelings about this issue. There's deep concerns about privacy, especially with immigration enforcement.
Eddie Lynn is a Seattle council member and represents the city's south side.
Is it business as usual right now at Seattle City Hall?
There's been a lot of news, and what happened was devastating at the Bite of Seattle. The gun violence has been devastating to our community, to Rainier Beach in particular. I'm not sure of all the details, but there could be some sort of connection.
But the longer the questions linger, those headwinds
You ready to take off now?
Yeah.
may continue to swirl.
And Wilson is perhaps facing for the first time this difficulty in answering some of these questions directly because they involve the legal system. Not only the case involving her, but also the decision to force out Police Chief Sean Barnes. There was a settlement agreement, and she may be prohibited from discussing what led up to that and also the shooting at length because of the legal ramifications. Preston and Molly?
Now, Chris, there are a lot of people who are still angry, people who ran for cover from the Bite of Seattle that day, and vendors who lost money from looting, who are wondering why police still don't have a suspect in custody for those shootings. Do we have any other information on that?
Unfortunately, no. Just a little bit that has come from the acting and interim police chief, Andre Sales, who told the city council last week that they perhaps were looking for somebody with a blue shirt. A few days before that, he told me that the killer was still on the run. I did reach out to the Seattle Police Department today to ask if there is any sort of update in the investigation. Is there any sort of suspect description? And I was told no.
Chris Daniels live for us tonight in Seattle. Chris, thank you.
The push to recall Mayor Wilson passed a big hurdle yesterday. The next step is now in the hands of a King County Superior Court judge. It is a key stage before petition signatures could be collected. Our team coverage continues tonight with KOMO's Jackie Kent and reaction from Mayor Wilson and neighbors who were worried about crime. Jackie.
This is all happening now that the prosecuting attorney's office has finished its technical review to verify information about the petitioners. Now we are hearing from frustrated people who live and work in North Seattle, also in the Chinatown International District, specifically about crime. But right now they seem split about whether a recall is the solution. It's the first time on camera that Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson is acknowledging allegations made against her as she faces a possible recall.
That is a legal process that will be playing out. I'm focused on leading the city and on making it an affordable place for people to live.
It's an effort that has support from Henry's Taiwan kitchen owner, Henry Koo. During what should be the lunch rush, his restaurant in the International District sits empty as he waits for customers to walk by this scene at 12th and Jackson. Do you think the mayor's office is doing enough to try to solve these problems here?
I see nothing. Why I working for? I pay so many tax, right? Then I working so hard for what?
He tells KOMO he'll soon be moving his business away from this high crime area where he believes the open air drug use and homelessness have led to broken windows and fewer customers.
It's not all her fault, but she hasn't done anything about it.
Melinda Jacobson is part of the couple who filed the recall charges, and a judge is now set to review the case and determine whether the allegations qualify for a recall. In this summary, she claims the mayor was not responsive to homeowners' calls and emails outlining crime concerns in the North Aurora neighborhood.
I've seen people get their windows shot out, cops are on the street a lot. We'll almost always see women on the corner soliciting.
While neighbors like Casey Amico admit there are challenges here, they say they do not support a recall.
I would love to see some improvements in public safety, but I understand it's not just one woman that can do that. It's a collective effort. So I would say recalling her might be a little extreme.
I don't know if anybody else is going to do a better job.
And as of now, Jacobson tells me she does plan to be at that August 31st hearing to address these allegations. Mayor Katie Wilson says she will have representation there. Molly?
All right, so that hearing, Jackie, less than 2 weeks away. And then what are the next steps in the process after that?
If a judge does decide that these allegations qualify for a recall, then Mayor Wilson can appeal to the state Supreme Court. If this does move forward, petitioners would need to gather close to 70,000 signatures. That's because that's about 25% of all of the people who voted in the mayoral election. Then King County elections would need to verify those signatures. If it gets past that point, then it would go to the voters. I'll send it back to you.
All right, Jackie, thank you. It is time for tonight's KOMO Pulse Poll now. Scan the QR code here on your screen to answer this question. What do you think should happen to Mayor Katie Wilson? Right now, most people responding, 90% say she should resign. Just 2% say that the voters can decide in 2029 when she's up for re-election. 7% say they want that recall election sooner. 1% say nothing. Criticism is unfair.